I think we've done this before, you know. I think you've said Baba is you, and I've said, is that an elephant? You said no, and I said, oh, I'm thinking of Baba.
Oh, you could be.
I think we've had this exact conversation the last time you
Probably,
you
yes.
mentioned this.
You're thinking of Baba.
It's episode 53 of the Podemup podcast, in which we discuss the original Shantae for the Game Boy Color. We're also talking about some noteworthy titles announced within the last month or so, including Sonic Superstars and Super Mario Wonder, plus there's an interesting incoming indie too. Keep it right here on Podemup. Hello everyone, welcome back to Podemup. This is episode 53 of the Podemup podcast. My name is Ollie, there's another man here and his name is Tibbs.
Hello.
There he is. Yeah, we're back. Shantae today. Bit of Shantae action in the book club. What you been up to otherwise though, Tibbs?
Just been knocking about.
Knocking about. Yeah, any gaming doing?
I did. I don't know if we talked about it on the show actually. The Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit.
Oh yeah, I still haven't played that. I think I played a demo at a Sage at some point, but I haven't played the full thing. It's sitting on my desktop. I still haven't got around to playing it.
Yeah, I played that through.
This is a fan game, isn't it? So it's a 16-bit recreation of the Game Gear Sonic Triple Trouble game, isn't it?
Kind of. I mean, the level is basically different in every way, except it's got a very cursory similarity to Triple Trouble.
Oh, okay.
It's got Knack the Weasel in it, but all the levels are different. I think it's the same zones, but all the level designs
different
are
level
different.
Design. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everything is. It's like a brand new game, really. But
okay.
It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Some of the music on the levels I didn't like. Some of the music didn't really gel with me, but other songs I really liked.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a
bit of a mixed bag.
I think it's fair enough for a fan game, isn't it? It's not gonna.
No, I demand quality. I demand satisfaction.
Satisfaction for this completely free game.
Yeah, I do. I want it. I want it to the same quality.
Yeah.
As I don't care if it's one man doing it.
Yeah, don't care.
He needs to have the skill set of an entire team and famous worldwide known musicians.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
No, certainly not. No.
But no, it's good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Good.
And I played a new game. I can't remember what it's called. It's got a rabbit in it. Hang on, what's it called? It's got a rabbit in it. It's like Bomberman and Dig Dug. What's it called? If I search Rabbit Bomberman Dig Dug, it will come up because it's got a funny name. Murtop. It's called.
I haven't heard of that.
Murtop. It's really good. It's cheap as chips. It's like £5 or something. It's presented just like a classic arcade game. And it's literally like Dig Dug mixed with Bomberman. So you're a little rabbit. You dig down. There's little enemies going about. And you can poo out a little bomb every now and then. Just like a real rabbit.
Just like a real rabbit, yeah.
And yeah, you just got to, clear the stage of enemies before the time limit goes. And the enemies get increasingly more difficult. Some of them will shoot little projectiles at you. Really simple concept of a game, but really addictive, really, really, really good. I could imagine that just being in a classic arcade somewhere, and just putting the coins in it like you do. So,
Yeah.
Murtop,
Murtop.
big thumbs up for Murtop there.
Cool.
Also played Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I know this. I haven't played it. I know it.
Yeah, I played that because I was in the Humble Choice selection thing
Right.
this month. So
Yeah.
it's quite good. It's quite good. It's starting to wear out its welcome a little bit. It's kind of like an open world. I don't know what you'd call it. A ghost 'em up. You sort of go around. You play a character who's been half possessed by a spirit. So he talks to you in your head, and he gives you some of his sort of ghost powers. Some supernatural force has overtaken Tokyo and made all the people disappear, and separated their spirits from their bodies. You've got to go around, collect all the spirits up so they're safe, stick them in a telephone. So the telephone will shoot them out of Tokyo to somewhere safe, so that you can reattach them to their bodies later. So the obvious thing you would do in that situation.
Yeah, just like in real telephones.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't fault it for that.
They're so realistic, these games, aren't they? Rabbits that put out bombs, telephones that send ghosts somewhere. Yeah, it's super realism these days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You can speak to the dogs. There's dogs going about. You can use the ghost powers to read their thoughts, dogs and cats. There's a ghost that's like an umbrella with a big tongue. It's got all sorts going on. But it has got the usual open world thing where it gets to a point where it's just kind of a map covered with 1,000 different busy work tasks to do.
Yeah.
And I'm still enjoying it, but it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to wear out its welcome a little bit. I'm starting to think it's becoming a bit of a chore now.
Cut it loose. That's what I do.
Yeah,
cut it loose. Get rid of it.
I want to know where the story finishes, but I don't know if I'm going to bother going for the sort of 100% completion on it. I'll see the story through, but because there's 240,000 souls that you have to save.
That sounds like an awful lot.
It's quite a few. I'm up to 180,000 now. So
okay. So they come in fairly regularly.
Yeah. They come in. They helpfully sort of cluster together. Like
I was going to say, no, let's come in groups. You can't be doing those individually, surely.
No. It's like if you get one of those. If you get like a cereal and you get like the nutty clusters in there, the little clusters of nuts.
Okay. Yeah.
They're like that. The souls just sort of cluster together.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I've been playing that. I got the Ghost Trick remake.
Oh yeah, cool. I haven't picked it up yet.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah, I played the demo. It's everything you would want it to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know because I pre-ordered it like an idiot. I don't know if pre-ordering it just to hear a remastered version of the Chicken Paradise music was necessarily worth it, to be honest.
That's pretty good music, as I recall.
It is pretty good music, yeah, but you know, whether or not that was really worth paywalling behind the pre-order.
Is that all you get?
You get that, and you get Missile's theme, and you get a few backgrounds. You're not going to notice if they're there or not anyway.
When you say remastered, are they like redone, or is it just like slightly improved?
They're redone, but they're very faithful to the original. It kind of just sounds like a more high definition version of it, really.
Yeah.
I didn't like the original, the Ghost Trick theme, the main theme tune.
Yeah.
I loved on the DS version. There's like this little bass line behind it, like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's really low down in the mix on the rearranged version.
Yeah.
And I really like that bit. But yeah, it's good. It's probably the definitive way to play the game now, I would say.
Yeah, so. With all those high definition visuals and everything. And I remember those very slick animations must look.
Oh, they look so good. Yeah. Yeah, they look so good.
To hear more about Ghost Trick, go and see episode 5, where we talked about it at length. Yeah, it's a great game.
So long ago.
Yeah, long time ago. Just little wee little people then, weren't we?
Yeah, tiny ones.
Tiny ones.
I think there's something else I played as well. Oh, there is something else. I didn't play this month. I played this a couple of months ago, and I
That's
keep
fine.
forgetting to mention
Absolutely fine.
Ballistic NG, I think it's called. It's like a fan. Uh, it's not a remake, but it's like a fan version of Wipeout. It's
Okay.
so it's so good.
Yeah, I think I've seen this.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen a very Wipeout looking game. Must have been that.
it is so good. The physics are spot on. The graphics are spot on. It comes with a track editor, so you can make your own
Oh,
tracks.
nice.
A full mod suite, so you can add. You can modify it however you want. There's all sorts of community mods out there. There's a guy who's done a 3D scan of his cat. And you can just fly this cat curled around in a little ball. You could just fly that round the track.
Fantastic.
And you can set all the AI pilots to be cats as well. So you just got like these loads of curled up cats all flying around these futuristic space tracks. It's everything you want from a game. I think that's about it.
Okay.
It's been a packed month.
That's good, because I've got hardly anything to talk about. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom is still going on.
Oh yeah.
And there's like four main, like Breath of the Wild, there's four main things you've got to do. You don't even have to do them. You can go straight to the final boss, I think, if you want. But they're the four main things you've got to do. Like there's a dungeon and a boss attached to each one, a series of quests and things. I've done two of those, and I'm about to do the dungeon in the third, so I've almost done that one. But I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface of the game. I put like over 40 hours in, and it still feels like there's so much more that I haven't done. And it doesn't help when you see like all these articles coming in all the time on Twitter and everything, all these crazy things you can do with all the, like the system where you connect things together and build machines and things.
I was going to say, I've seen some mental
it's
things
just
that people have been
you
making
can just
with
create like everything. You can see someone's built like a computer out of these things, or like a music player, and it's crazy. I haven't even scratched the surface of that stuff yet.
It's like a game in itself. That bit.
Yeah, it is one of those desert island
that.
games. If you were stuck on a desert island with a switch and a power supply, then you would just bring this game, because it'll just last you until you die, probably. But yeah, it's great. It's very good. Luckily, Alice is really enjoying watching me play it.
Oh, good.
Which I wasn't expecting, but to the point where she almost doesn't like me playing it without her. So I sort of have to wait for her schedule to become available before I can play it. But that's really nice. Yeah, it's good. I would say I'm a little bit disappointed by the dungeons themselves, and the same with the Breath of the Wild. Actually, they don't follow the traditional structure of a dungeon that I like, which is actually fairly similar to the ones we're going to talk about later in Shantae, in the sense that you've got to go down a room, go down a corridor, do this thing, get a key, then you've got to go back through the main room to go to another place where you unlock the door, or you get something else, then you get a weapon which allows you to do more things in the same areas that you've already traversed. That sort of back and forth thing, which I really love, that sort of design, that Metroidvania style thing.
Metroidvania style.
It's not there in the two that I've played, and possibly the one that I'm about to play. It's just like, here's 4 different things you've got to do in this dungeon, and they're all separate, and you go and solve 4 different puzzles, and that's it. They're not interconnected. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's just it's the same sort of Zelda-y stuff. It's just done in a different way. It's just sort of spread out across the world and things, and these little mini shrines and mini dungeons and things like that. So it's good. It's great. It's a good game. As I said last time, it's kind of based in the same map as Breath of the Wild, so it doesn't quite have that same. When I first explored it in Breath of the Wild, that was like amazing, just exploring all these places and all these crazy, weird things that you find there. I don't quite get the same feeling here, just because it's the same map.
A bit more familiar.
It's more familiar, but it goes above and beyond and pushes things that you couldn't do in Breath of the Wild into all these amazing things that you can do. So it's standing on the shoulders of Breath of the Wild very much, but to make a better game. So you can't have one without the other. They're kind of connected that way. But yeah, it's good. We've had not E3 this month, haven't we?
Yeah.
E3, but not E3.
Yeah. The big game everyone's talking about. I'm sure you're probably thinking the same one as me.
Yeah.
The Grimace's birthday.
I don't know what this is. I keep seeing this on Twitter. I thought it was some sort of meme. Please enlighten me. What is this?
Grimace's birthday is a full Game Boy Color game. It's a you play it in your browser, but there's a full ROM available if you look in the right places.
Yeah.
And it's a full a brand new Game Boy Color game, commissioned by McDonald's to celebrate however many years of the McDonald's characters. And Grimace, a big purple blob one, it's him, and he sort of does a bit of skateboarding type thing, slides down, do a few tricks.
Oh, okay.
But it's mad. A brand new Game Boy Color game.
Commissioned by McDonald's.
Commissioned by McDonald's in the year 2023.
That is
I
pretty
love
mental.
it.
I missed that completely. I don't know where I was.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Like everything, I see traces of it on Twitter and just wonder what it is and then never really find out. That's my internet life, basically. Just trying to figure out what memes mean. But yeah, Sonic Superstars is probably going to be the big one that we're likely to talk about.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
It looks alright. It looks alright. I mean, I want Sonic Mania 2.
I think this is probably as close as you're going to get.
I know.
Unfortunately.
I know. And I'm probably really going to enjoy it. I reckon it looks good fun, but it's not what I want.
I know what you mean. It's I would love a full game of the quality of those original levels, like 12 of them, in Sonic Mania 2. But failing that, this looks all right.
It looks all right. I was just talking about McDonald's. Say you go to McDonald's, you ask for a McFlurry, they give you a Cornetto. You're going to enjoy the Cornetto. It's a nice ice cream, a nice mouthfeel, nice flavours.
Yeah.
But you wanted a McFlurry.
Yeah, you go to McDonald's for a McFlurry, you don't go for a Cornetto, do you? That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. And there's nothing against Cornettos. You're going to enjoy it. There's nothing you're not going to like about it.
The solid chocolatey bit at the end of a Cornetto.
Oh, that's the best bit.
Bit.
I would literally buy a Cornetto that's all that.
Oh, me too. Just a solid chocolate Cornetto.
Just a solid chocolate thing wrapped in a wafer. But I don't think that's what the new Sonic's going to be. I don't think it's going to be solid chocolate wrapped in a wafer, but I do think it's going to be good. It looks all right.
Yeah.
I like the return of the Badniks.
Yes, they look lovely. It's if you haven't seen it, it's 2D Sonic. It's 2.5D, the classic Sonic, and the physics look pretty bang on, actually, from what everyone's sort of examining them. It's believed to be a port of the retro engine at the moment. That's what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
Rather than that they've recreated it themselves. But people who've been making their own sort of versions of the Sonic engine, a bit like that Sonic Studio one that I mentioned a long time ago, they've taken parts of the trailer and recreated the level design that they see in there and run the footage side by side, and it pretty much maps out perfectly.
Okay.
It's all, so we can hopefully expect not Sonic 4 physics here, but this should be the real deal. So that's something to look forward to. There's some nice new Badniks and classic Badniks. They've got that sort of Sonic Lost World style, which we've said before we quite like, the general aesthetic. It's going to have 12 zones, so it's going to be quite big. But it's got to be £50 price point, though, so it's going to have a lot of content there to justify that, I think, for a standard 2D Sonic game.
Yeah, that's a hefty ask, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're probably going to release a spreadsheet with lots of different options again, no doubt.
Yes.
Although for that price, they really shouldn't. They really should bundle everything in there for that. I don't want to spend any more than that. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see how it goes.
So is it actual? Because it's co-op in there.
Yeah, this is the thing that's going to be a bit weird because it's 4-player co-op, and it's not like when Tails goes and he doesn't come, he goes off screen and you wait for him to come back. I assume we haven't really seen much footage of the 4-player in action, but I assume maybe the screen zooms out a bit to accommodate them. Because the problem and the reason they haven't done this before is because Sonic goes fast, and if the other character isn't going fast, then how are they going to accommodate that?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see.
Give us a demo.
Yeah, a demo would show that off. Anyway, looks good. Super Mario Wonder.
I don't like the Elephant Mario.
You don't like him?
No. No, I really don't. It's really ugly. Don't like it at all.
Okay, well.
that's my takeaway from it. I really.
I don't have a lot else to say about it really, because it's just more 2D Mario, isn't it? At the end of the day, they're doing some
2D Mario,
crazy trippy stuff in it, but it is interesting to see that I suppose I'm biased because I get a lot more Sonic people on my Twitter than Mario people, but it seems like there's more excitement for Sonic Superstars than there is for Mario Wonder. I think just because we've had less of 2D Sonic done right than we have 2D Mario done right, haven't we? So people are a bit sick of it. A little bit.
I don't know if they're sick of it.
No, sick of it is extreme, but
I mean, you know what? There's not really. I don't think there's going to be many surprises in it. You know, it's going to be. If you look at new Super Mario Brothers, Wii, Wii U, all this, they're all really good games, but they're all essentially the same game.
They are over and
they're
over
like
again,
level packs more than
they
games.
Are.
So.
And also with Mario Maker, they've now given us the chance to say, okay, you make some levels now because we're bored of it. And so now they're giving us another one, and it all looks quite nice. It looks different, and it's got a different feel to it, but it is nonetheless still,
it's
the same sort of thing.
The same sort of thing. It's not like you're buying it thinking, God, I wonder what this is going to be like this time. Like Mario Odyssey was a completely new thing. That was like, exactly. I don't know what to expect. But this one, and the best thing they could come up with it, compared to Cat Mario, which is what I think that was the last power that they introduced, the last sort of power up. Cat Mario is lovely. Look at Elephant Mario. It's all bulbous.
It's also not because Cat Mario and all the other ones are him in a cat suit, aren't they? This is like him transformed into an elephant, right?
Yeah, it's like body horror. It's like David Cronenberg.
Yeah,
dreadful.
I know, it's a bit sick actually, isn't it? No, you've turned me around. I'm not into this at all now. I had no positive or negative feelings towards it before, but now, you've swayed me.
Wasn't there something else Mario related as well?
There's Mario RPG.
That was it. Yeah,
just a remake. I mean, I was reading an article. They said that whole Nintendo Direct was really just Nintendo reaching at the back of the freezer to see what they can give us before, because they're clearly working on games for the next console, and they don't really have much for us at the moment, unless it's also going to go on the next console as well, maybe. So it feels a bit of a stopgap until they get that sorted out. What are your thoughts on the next Nintendo console? What do you think they need to do? Do you think they need to do it now, or can the Switch carry on for a bit longer?
I think the Switch has got some gas left in the tank, to be honest.
It's got such a strong user base, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's everyone's got a Switch.
Yeah, everyone's got a Switch, and I kind of like a console having some limitations. I think developers come out with some really interesting, innovative stuff when they're limited by some of the hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, the PS5 and the Xbox One and everything, I know everyone loves the fact it's got RTX ray tracing and all this kind of stuff, but I don't really care. If something's got like really realistic, you've got all the processing power in the world to accurately calculate the rays of the sun and how it bounces off the water and on the characters' armor and all this kind of stuff. Great, but if you didn't have that, you would have to come up with some really interesting ways to make that happen, to fake that.
To fake it and to sort of create the effect of it and kind of like stylize it. Do you know what I mean? Like make a stylized version of that rather than the real thing.
Yeah. Well, I think of there's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. There's an airport level, and you're going you skate down the airport, and it's got like a really reflective floor. And the way they did that was they just mirrored the level geometry a little bit under the floor and put a transparent floor, so it looks, you've got the impression of it being reflective, and it works really well. Would that game have benefited if you were wasting CPU cycles on calculating every ray of light and how it bounced off every tile? I don't get it. So I kind of like that the Switch doesn't have any of that stuff. So if they want to port big games to it, or they want to do some new AAA games, they've got to be a little bit more inventive about what they do and a little bit more crafty. So I think the Switch has still got some life in it. I think if they were going to do, for the Switch 2, the main thing I'd want absolutely is backwards compatibility.
Oh, I think it has to. I think it would be huge if they didn't, because we've all got so many Switch games. We want to be able to carry on playing them.
Yeah.
And it's always an important thing, isn't it? Just like going forward, like in the future, even if your Switch breaks, you can play them on the Switch too. Just even for that reason, like future-proofing it to some extent.
Yeah, precisely. Maybe maybe a little graphics boost. I wouldn't go crazy with it.
I think it would have to just to keep up a bit with the Genesis, because it is getting like the gulf between what the PS5 and the Series X can do is quite big compared to what the Switch can do. So I think, developers would certainly want it to have a little bit more info. If not matching those, then heading towards.
I wouldn't. The thing is, I mean, if you look at like the Steam Deck, that's closer. That's would sit between the Switch and the PS5 and Xbox in terms of its power. I would say it's roughly on par with the PS4. I would say maybe a little bit above. It's portable, but it's quite chunky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the Switch to become too big and too cumbersome. It's at the right sort of form factor, I think. So I don't know how much they can boost it without making it, huge.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is we don't know anything about this console. It may not even be handheld as well, but I'd imagine it probably would be because they seem to have struck gold with that.
Yeah, anyway, I think they would be very daft to go to just a home console. I think. Yeah. I think the hybrid approach. I think, like you say, they've struck gold with it. I think that's the way to go for it.
But of course, Nintendo, they go up and then they go down, don't they? With subsequent consoles, sometimes like you had the Wii and then they had the Wii U, and you got the Switch, and it could be the Switch U equivalent. So it may not. Hopefully, I hope it works out for them. But you never know with these things. People aren't necessarily super loyal to Nintendo, as loyal as you think they'd be.
No.
Anyway, anything else to talk about not E3?
Metal Gear Solid coming out on the Switch.
Oh yeah, that little anniversary collection. Yeah, that looked quite nice, isn't it? I like
it looks really good.
Lots of extra stuff in it.
They were doing a pointless remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which I'm not really fussed about at all, to be honest. But the collection, that's lovely. It's all the original MSX games.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3. That's it, I think.
Yeah, there's loads of extra stuff though, isn't it?
Loads of extra stuff. Stick on the little cartridge. Physical release coming out.
Yeah.
Well, assuming it is all on the cartridge. It's not one of these, half download jokes, but that's brilliant. And the fact that they've called it Classic Collection Volume 1 or something like that, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like Metal Gear Solid Classic 1. Suggests that there's going to be a Classic Collection 2, which also suggests that Metal Gear Solid 4 might actually be released somewhere other than the PS3 at last, which would be very, very good. I'd like to see that. I mean, there's some bits in Metal Gear Solid 4 that are really specific to the PS3, like references in the game and things like that. So it's not going to be a straight port job. I think they're going to have to go in and edit a few things and change a few things just to make it make sense on another console. But it'd be really good to see it because it's a good game.
Cool. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Penny's Big Breakaway was the only other one I wanted to mention. This is the team behind Sonic Mania's new game. Original game. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's quite nice. It's like a 3D platformer where you play as a girl with a giant yo-yo, and she can like throw it around, roll on it like a big wheels, and then use it as a helicopter. Looks like it's got some lovely physics to it, doesn't it?
I used to love yo-yos.
Yeah, I used to like a yo-yo. They were very big in the late 90s, weren't they? They came back really in a big way. Yeah, with the lights on and everything. And
I bought one not long ago.
Did you?
For nostalgia. Yeah. Still got it.
Yeah.
Still got it. Still walk the dog,
Can you?
Not a problem. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. No, I'm rubbish at them. Alice had one a little while ago and I couldn't get anywhere with it. Yeah. Alright. So that's that then. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I feel like we're rushing through things today. This show feels like it's got a breakneck pace.
I don't think so. I think we've discussed each thing as much as we can. I don't know. Sorry if I'm rushing you.
I feel rushed. I feel like behind me go, come on, I want to talk about Shantae, come on. But no, it's good. Maybe we're just.
I've got an incoming indie.
Enthusiasm.
If you're into slowing down the pace a little bit.
Let's slow it right down.
Okay.
Incoming indie.
So this incoming indie is called Viewfinder. And it was a little demo that came out on Steam's recent demo fest. I don't think it's still available, unfortunately. But it's a first-person puzzle game. Structurally, it reminded me of Portal in the sense that it seems to be like a linear series of puzzle rooms, and you just do them one after the other. But instead of like a portal gun, the main gimmick is you've got the ability to take any photo of whatever you're seeing in the game, any piece of geometry, and then transport the contents of that photo into somewhere else in the level to create new platforms or to move around.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really just if you look it up, it's really clever because it's more clever than the way I'm describing it, because it's you hold the photo up and you press a button and the photo comes away and you move around and suddenly it's what's in the photo is all three-dimensional and you can go into it, and it's not so much going into a picture but like bringing the contents of that picture in, even if it means like shearing off some of the existing geometry that you're putting it over, and like you can use it to create new platforms and things. Say you've got a high ledge and you've got a picture of a side of a building. If you tilt the photo a little bit on its side and then push it in, suddenly that building is like a slope that you can walk up. It's really, really clever. It looks really interesting. Loads of potential for some really interesting puzzles there.
I'm just having a look. I just looked at what I thought was going to be a good demonstration of it, but it wasn't very good. So I'm just looking at a playthrough now.
If you go on the Steam page, I think there should be a video that explains it quite well.
He's going around now. Oh, there's an easel.
Yeah.
He's found an easel.
So early on you get pre-made photos, and then eventually you get the camera. You can take a picture of literally anything, and then it's really clever how it's done.
Pick up photos. He's picked it up. Can you do something with it? Oh, okay. He's held it. Oh no. Hold up the photo. No, he's
Is this like someone playing it live?
Yeah, he's gone back again. Yeah,
okay.
He's gone back again. No, I don't think he's got the hang of this.
Maybe this isn't the best demonstration of it, but
he's just walking around holding the photo. Oh, there we go. There he's done it. Oh, yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it's clever. Trust me, it's clever.
It took him long enough to get there, but that's...
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? So the objective in each little puzzle is to get to a machine that's a certain distance away or hidden behind something, and you've got to solve it in any way you can by taking a picture of anything. Sometimes you even have to take a picture of the machine itself and move it somewhere else, make a copy of it and move it somewhere else, and that still works even though you're using the copy rather than the proper thing. And it's got a rewind function if you mess up, so you can redo it. There's even a level in the demo that had like pre-made pictures of various other things. Like it had like a cartoon environment, and when you hold it up, you go and it's all like there's a shader on it, like a cartoon shader. It's like going into a cartoon, and like a Doom clone, and you kind of go in, and it's just I was blown away by it.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, so it's coming out very soon. It's coming out for PC and PS5 on the 18th of July. Nice. So yeah, might be an interesting book club pick one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very good.
Look out for it. It's called Viewfinder.
If it because I ain't got PS5 because.
No, but it'll run on your Steam Deck, I bet.
But that's what I mean. If it run on the Steam Deck, I will have it.
Yeah, if you got PC, get it.
Well, I tell you, you mentioned puzzle games, right? I found a puzzle game just lying in the street. No, I found a puzzle game called Luma on itch.io.
Yeah, I think I know this name.
It's I don't know if you can play it in the browser on itch.io, but there's an Amiga version. So you download it, you stick it on a disc, whack it in the Amiga, you turn it on, and it boots. And it's a game very similar to like an old game for the Commodore 64 that I don't think anyone ever remembers apart from me, called Deflector, where you have to rearrange little mirrors to shoot a laser around, and you have to get the laser to a certain point on the screen, and by sort of rearranging the mirrors, the laser will bounce around in different things, and there's all kinds of little tricks and stuff you can do to get it. It's a really nice concept for a game, for a little puzzle game. I was really enjoying it. I was playing level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. I think it was level 8. And this puzzle, I just couldn't get. you have to point the lasers up so they hit these little targets in the top corner of the screen. You're limited by how many moves you can do. So you've got like 10 moves. You can move the mirrors 10 times. You can move the lasers across, in a up or down across a grid. I was going through every possible permutation of getting these lasers going. Right, I spent at least an hour and a half on it.
Oh dear!
And I couldn't get out.
I'd have given up after that. I've got to recommend your commitment to it.
So I looked online, right?
Yeah.
And the solution was to move all the mirrors out the way and just let the lasers go up. Now it won't make sense to you unless you're looking at it.
Yeah.
But it annoyed me so much because the whole point of the game, the whole marketing thing is you bounce lasers off things. That's what you do. So the solution to be you just move them out the way. I turn it off, and I've not played it since.
After an hour and a half.
Yeah. On principle. Because you can't say, I've got this game, have you? I can't even think of an analogy. I'm so offended.
Yeah.
Not offended. Upset. I don't know.
It's like if you do a Sonic level, and the objective, of course, is to just run from left to right and get to the end. In this level, you just stand there, and the end comes to you.
Precisely, exactly. And if you move, and if you
if you do anything, it just gets further away. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And imagine that just being, on the second zone of Sonic 3. So up until that point, you've been trained by the game how to play it. And then out of the blue, they just go, no,
this level's going to go on forever unless you stand perfectly still. Yeah.
So that annoyed me. But other than that, it's a good game. Good music, nice style. But
if you get stuck,
just put me off.
Look it up. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't often spend so you don't spend an hour and a half trying something before I look it up personally.
Well,
I mean,
I don't usually, but I was like, okay, this is classic. This is an Amiga game. This is obviously because it's a new development. It's not like a classic game. It's like a modern homebrew that's been put onto the console. So I thought, okay, maybe I've just been spoiled by modern gaming standards. I'm really going to immerse myself. This is the classic game style. I'll imagine I'm playing it before there was the internet, before,
Okay, you were trying to replicate what would happen. Yeah, you didn't have YouTube. Exactly. I see. I get it. No, that's fair. Yeah.
But that's how it ended up for me. Because I figured if there's a trick level like that, a snake in the grass cheat level like that, so early on, I'm not going to have fun with some of the later ones, am I? There's going to be similar, sneaky ones, snaky ones.
Definitely. Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I do hate it when you're forced to look something up. It's either going to be something that you never would have thought of, and you're glad you looked it up because it would have taken you forever to get there, or it's something so impossibly simple like that you just kick yourself for not thinking of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those two things, isn't it?
How do you like puzzle games? You a big puzzle game fan?
Yeah, I'll play them sometimes. They're not necessarily my favourite genre, but I do. I'm known to partake of a puzzle game here and there. Yeah.
Okay. Just thinking, just a bit of foreshadowing for my pick. You see.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we haven't really had a proper puzzle game before, so that'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Oh, we did. We had Lemmings. That's
that's a puzzle game, and I didn't get on with
No, you didn't.
any of the Lemmings that we played, but yeah.
Okay, Shantae time.
Shantae time.
Are you sure you haven't overdosed on caffeine or something? You're very very giddy up today.
Am I? Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Yeah,
right.
You are.
That's funny because I've been really tired all day. I must have gone past it, now. Do you know what I mean?
Your second wind, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't sleep well last night, and I've been desperately trying to find a nap all day, but I couldn't get one. And now I've just gone past the point of no return, and I've just gone all hyper. Yeah, that must be it. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll be right back after this.
Video Game Book Club.
Right then, Shantae. This was a game developed by WayForward and published by Capcom and released for the Game Boy Color, or Color, as our American friends like to spell it, in June 2002 in the USA only. Now, there was only about 25,000 copies of this original run, supposedly, and because it was ignored at the time and is now highly regarded and sought after, it goes for an absolute bomb on eBay. I had a look, a loose cartridge on its own could set you back, and this is probably the most expensive game we've ever covered on the show. Any guesses?
$500.
Times it by 2.
No.
Nearly £1,000. Yeah. I mean, that's just I think that's just a price that someone's just whacked it on there. I think there's a couple around the same sort of price, but it's one of those things that's hard to determine its actual value. But that's what people are trying to get for it anyway.
I slight spoiler. I liked the game. Okay, it's not worth £1,000.
No way is it
it's
worth
not worth
£1,000.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, fear not though. The limited run did a re-release at some point fairly recently. But if you want to pick that up on an original Game Boy Color cartridge, not an original, but they might have done a new Game Boy Color cartridge. That only costs about £100. So you're saved there. Luckily, the game is now also available digitally on the Switch, PS4 and PS5 for a far more reasonable price of £7 or £8.
I was going to say, as much as I will bang the drum for physical cartridges and physical games, just get it digitally.
Yeah, if it means that kind of money, it's really not. Yeah, just get it digital or get a ROM, and the ROM will last you as long as a physical cartridge will, if you keep it well looked after.
Fed and watered.
Yeah, exactly. So Shantae is the first in a series of 2D platforming metroidvania style games in which you take the role of the half-genie, Shantae, as she travels across Sequin Land in order to foil the evil schemes of the notorious lady pirate Risky Boots. Over the course of the game, Shantae learns new dances which transform her into various animals, each offering a different ability that can open up new areas. Created by husband and wife team Erin and Matt Boson, they struggled to find a publisher for the game for quite a while until Capcom finally took them on. Unfortunately, they held it back for months, only releasing a small print run and after a year of the Game Boy Advance's release, so it was pretty late to the party on the old Game Boy Color. Interestingly, if you do play this on the Game Boy Advance, you get a more vivid colour palette because that machine has a slightly darker screen than the Game Boy Color, so they wanted to spruce up a bit because they figured that's where most people will be playing it. And it was the advent of digital distribution, which we were just talking about, that allowed WayForward to self-publish the first 2 sequels to this game over the following decade or so, and allowing the series to grow in popularity as an indie favourite and spawning a total of 5 games in the series to date. It's a bit of a sort of favourite series, isn't it, really, of a lot of people. It's quite well regarded.
Very well regarded.
You've played some of the later ones, is that right?
Yeah.
But this is the first time you are playing this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've played a little bit of The Pirate's Curse, which is the third one. I think it was in a humble bundle for the Wii U a while ago. That's where I got it from. But this is the first time me playing the original. So how does it sort of compare to the later ones?
It feels pretty much the same. I mean, conceptually it feels very similar. the modern ones are clearly just evolutions of that same idea. It's very impressive for
the
a
Game Boy Color.
game.
Yeah, because I haven't really played many Game Boy Color games, I must admit. I played a lot of Game Boy games, but not the Color. It sort of passed me by that, really. But yeah, it's some lovely little animations in it. Shantae herself is really well animated.
It's really, everything is really well animated. All the attacks, all the dances, all the enemies, everything is just really well animated. It's a really good looking game for because I mean the Game Boy Color isn't that much, it's not a massive upgrade over the original Game Boy in terms of hardware. I don't.
No, it's not
a massive amount in it.
Other than the color, it's not much more capable of.
No.
Putting stuff out. So yeah, what they've managed to achieve there is a nice big chunky sprite that she's got there. You can see everything quite clearly, and just like the enemies and the characters, they're all really well designed. Like the whole world, it's sort of deserty, isn't it? And a bit of piratey, and there's lots of like other influences and other kind of crazy characters and enemies in there. It's well presented. You can see if anyone did come by and look at this, it must have caught their eye a bit.
Yeah.
Lots of personality to it, like the dialogue. It's fairly minimal, but it's sort of quite characterful when it appears.
Yes. Hello, you mentioned Risky Boots, the lady pirate, which I thought was a funny emphasis. It's like the way she says it at the beginning. It's like it's Risky Boots, the lady pirate.
The lady pirate. Well, she's a lady and she's a pirate, so it just makes that clear. Yeah, I don't think you could mistake her for a man. Both her and Shantae are clearly women.
Yes.
I think, to say the least. Little bit scantily clad, I suppose, but because it's it's
probably hot.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty hot there. You would be almost like Little Mermaid is the same scantily cladness, but you don't. It's not like seedy. The same here, really. It's just kind of like characterful.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
There's a lot of skin there, but you don't think, this is raunchy, do you? So. Yeah.
No.
So we've covered that. We've covered the raunchiness. So there's two different things you're going to be doing.
I wonder what you were going to say then. There's
two. There's two. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. We won't finish that sentence. Well, all right. You've got the towns. I like the towns, the little places which she goes to, because you get kind of an over the shoulder shot, rather than it sort of being a 2D side-scrolling thing where you go to different places. You can go to different buildings in the towns, and you feel like she's just wandering around looking at things. Like she shuffles to the left, and you get like a different place, and you wanders into the background to go into the shop, and you can buy different moves and abilities and things like that. Save, refresh your health. There's little mini games in there which I didn't really try very much, but there's lots of stuff to do there. And then you've got the dungeons, which are similar to the Zelda ones that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to get to those later because I want to talk about the bits in between the dungeons.
Okay. I
like the dungeons. I did not like the bits in between at all. Like, I had no... I can't... I was so frustrated with a lot of those bits. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I found them so difficult.
Yeah.
Like, so relentlessly, irritatingly difficult.
Yes. Yeah, I did as well. I didn't complete it, I got to say.
No, I did 2 dungeons, and that was really pushing it because I really wanted to get through, because I enjoyed the dungeons, the 2 that I played, especially the second one. But they're all connected. Everything is connected sort of on a long horizontal plane, if you imagine. So you've got a town, and then you can either go to the left or right from there, and you go down these different platform. I struggle to call them platform because they're not really anything interesting platform wise going on, really. Like, there are platforms, but that's about it, and you just have to fight these onslaughts of enemies.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. It's just an onslaught.
And she's got a hair whip, which is her main attack, and you can buy other ones like a sort of double kick and things like that. And it's not always effective, which is the only bit that impressed me about these bits particularly, was that it got a day and night cycle.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. Like, after a bit it'll turn into, it's just day and just night. It's not like a sunset bit or anything, but and I think the enemies get stronger at night. That's what I read. But they take so many hits, and it's tough to sort of stop hitting them and then get out of the way, because they're still kind of walking towards you, and you end up getting hurt quite a lot. They've got big hitboxes, which are quite difficult to avoid. Some of them, as you get further into it, their projectiles are so irritating. Like there's in the desert, there's these half woman, half slug things.
Oh.
They're sort of this sort of circular projectile that they fire tracks you down and follows you, and I think it's almost impossible to avoid. It literally matches your vertical height wherever you are vertically. So I don't see how you're supposed to avoid those.
No, I don't.
I had a lot of trouble with them.
Yeah.
And you've got, like, by default, you've got 3 hearts, and you lose a half heart each time you get hit by something. And you can get more hearts, but I couldn't find any, and so that would have helped. But I really hated those bits. I've said before, I fully admit to being an abuser of save states in emulation. I think I used more save states here than any other game I can think of. I really did, like just to get through it.
Well, it's like you say, like there's like the desert level. There's I don't know what they're supposed to be, like millipedes or things that stick out the ground.
Yeah.
And you come up to them, and they're just like roadblocks, because it's not like they don't take like tons and tons of hits to kill, but they take far too many, and it just feels like you're going along. Oh, stop, go along, stop, go along, stop, go along, stop, and
it's relentless. Some of those enemies are relentless, and sometimes they got quite erratic patterns that are difficult to avoid. It's difficult because everything else about the game I really liked, but it's just these quite significant portions that I absolutely hated, and I don't know which one balances out overall. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know whether to recommend this game or not recommend it based on that. But people seem to love this game, don't they? And they love the series, and maybe it's not the best one in the series. But obviously, it improved. I mean, is this a problem later on in the later games? Because I feel like I stopped playing the other one, the third one, for pretty much the same reason. I just kept getting game overs a lot. I kept not being good enough for it.
I think they are quite. Yeah, they're quite tough as.
They're quite tough.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you completed any
No.
of the others? So you haven't. I guess you just played them. Yeah. So don't come into this thinking it's going to be like an easy kids friendly game, because it's really not. It's quite old school hard.
Yeah.
And unfair.
It is. I didn't look into it, but I would be interested to see if there's any like rebalancing ROM hacks for it. You know, whether the enemies, just tweaked a bit so the enemies don't take like 20 or 30 hits. Just run of the mill enemies. 20 or 30 like whipping your hair back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
Just a few little rebalancing tweaks, and I wonder if that would make the game a bit more palatable. But I'm sure I'll have a look on like romhacking.net later and just see if there is any. I'm sure there's bound to be some.
That would be good. Yeah.
Sort of community tweaks for it, but yeah.
So between those, there's the dungeons, which as I said, I really like. These are much more like what I was describing earlier, like a really good Zelda dungeon. So you kind of go down, you see a series of rooms blocked by doors that are locked. You can go through one area, you do a little section, and the enemies are generally less aggressive in these dungeons. You can get past them, and you solve little puzzles, get a key, go back to the main area, find another door to unlock, go in there. Eventually you'll find I guess like an imprisoned other genie, or
it's another genie, yeah.
And they give you a power to transform into a creature. So the two I saw was the monkey and the elephant.
Yeah.
And these will give you a new abilities like Metroidvania style. The monkey gives you the ability to jump high and climb walls, and the elephant you can do a little forward charge and break things that you couldn't break otherwise. And these are really cool, because then you could go back through the areas you haven't you've been, and then go to new paths within them just by using your new abilities. So it's proper like little self-contained Metroidvania level, really.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was great. I had a great time in those, especially the second one, because it was a bit more that sort of structure. The way you transform the animals was quite good as well, because you have to do like a little rhythm dance to do it. And she's a belly dancer.
Yeah. So belly dance.
So you've got to like either press. You've got like these little stars at the bottom of the screen, and they go 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the first one, you've got to press a button. So it's either down and then left, or down and then right for those animals. It's quite tricky to pull off sometimes. Sometimes I just couldn't get it, and I'm not very good at those, as we've established before. But I quite liked the idea of tying it into the belly. It's not just pressing a button. You've got to perform a little action. Although if you try and do it in a highly populated areas by enemies, they will still try and attack you even while you're trying to do that little minigame.
Yeah, you don't get any invincibility.
No. So you have to find a quiet place to do it secretly, which is a bit annoying. But you can then go back out into those long, boring areas and use the new abilities to maybe get around things. And this leads me to a bit that really annoyed me further. So normally in a Metroidvania, if you go somewhere that you're not supposed to go yet, you'll know pretty quick because you'll get to a thing that you can't get past. So in this case, a wall that you can't break down, and you need the elephant, so you can't do it until you've got the elephant of power from the dungeon. Before I went to that dungeon, I went the wrong way. I assumed that it was a linear thing, so you're constantly going right. So I carried on going right. I was supposed to go left. Actually left from the very first town, I think, was that dungeon. So it's not necessarily clear where to go all the time. You have to sort of suss it out. But what I should have faced there was a big wall very early on that says that clearly I can't get past, and you're supposed to go somewhere else.
Go away and get a skill.
But the game allowed me to go so far before I reached that wall.
Yeah.
Go through all of that crap. And then I got to the end and there's a wall, and I did all that for nothing. Why wasn't it there right at the beginning? I think that's bad design, I've got to say. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. It really annoyed me, that bit.
That is annoying.
Did you face that, or did you go the right way?
I didn't face that, but I was using a walkthrough.
Okay.
I'm not very good at
No,
Metroidvanias.
fair enough. I should have used the walkthrough as well. I just naively figured that it was all going right when it isn't. Sometimes you go left.
I get quite frustrated. I like the concept of I like the idea of Metroidvanias, but when I play them, I tend to just get lost.
This isn't really a proper Metroidvania.
No, it's not.
With the Castlevanias and the Metroids, they are the whole game is a massive level, like a massive dungeon.
Yeah. I'm thinking in particular when I tried to play through Hollow Knight.
Yeah, there's another
which
one.
Is a big Metroidvania, and I liked it. I liked the art style. I liked the world building it was doing. I liked everything, the combat. But I just ended up getting so lost, and it was like you were saying. I'd get so deep into a certain area only to realise I couldn't go any further, and I'd have to go all the way back again.
Yeah,
and
you've got to be very careful if you're building a Metroidvania. There is a knack to doing it right, and it's difficult to pull off. Because you need to make sure that you're never lost, but that when you get an ability, you kind of know, I can go back there and use it there and there. You really shouldn't have to go too far before you get blocked off by something that if you're not supposed to be there. So, but I mean, the Metroidvania template wasn't. Well, it was established by then, I suppose, but it wasn't
in its infancy.
It wasn't the big thing that it is now. Like every other game you see coming out is a Metroidvania now.
Yeah.
Whereas it wasn't the case there. It wasn't really established as a. It was just they were all just platformers. So I can forgive it for that, but it's just I don't know. Didn't like that bit. But as I say, there's so many other things to like about it. So I'm kind of torn on that one, really.
I think there's enough frustrations with it that I would struggle to recommend it. If someone wanted to get into the series and try playing a Shantae game, I wouldn't recommend it as the first one. No. I would certainly go with what I mean, the modern ones are still, like as we discussed, they're still quite difficult, and they're still they've got their own issues in terms of sort of balance and difficulty, but they're much more polished games and much more in line with modern game design sensibilities to this one. I think if this would be a good thing to go back to if you like the game and you like the modern games, you like what it's doing, you like the characters, it's good to go back and see where it all began.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend it as like, I'm going to start with the first one and play them all in order kind of thing.
I don't know how important from a story perspective it is that you find out what happened here first, because I got the impression with the Pirate's Curse that a lot had happened before that they referenced in the dialogue, because it was a bit more wordy, that one. And I was sort of missing out on in-jokes and things, if nothing else.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think there's anything. It's not. I don't think it's a very lore-heavy game that you
No.
need to.
Yeah.
If you get into it all and you get all the in jokes, it's a icing on the cake, I think. But I think the meat and potatoes is the gameplay. It's the lore. It's not a game that is built around the story. I don't think it's the story is just an also. It's just also there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I don't want to be a downer on it because
No, I don't.
there's a
No.
lot going for it, especially at the time. But you need to have a lot of perseverance with it if you're not save stating your way through it. And even if you are, it's still bloody frustrating.
And importantly, it shows how to do an elephant right.
Well,
How
that's
to
true. That is true. Yes,
you
she's
know,
transformed into a nice looking elephant.
a
So.
nice looking elephant. It's got like a little, I don't know what you call it, little blanket on it.
Yeah, it does,
one of
doesn't
those
it?
little,
Yeah.
yeah.
The monkey's
Lovely
super
elephant.
cute as well.
Oh, the
Super
monkey's
cute
great.
little monkey. Yeah, I didn't see the others. I had a little look on someone's video, and I think it's
Like a bird one.
There's a bird, one's a spider that can walk along the walls behind you. So yeah, there's some interesting ideas there. And the ability to transform into different animals is always quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So seek it out if you're curious and you've played the other games first, maybe. But if you're getting into the franchise and you want to see what all the fuss is about, I don't recommend starting with this one. No. Okay, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Unless you're really, really good at games and you like a challenge. But yeah, okay. Anything else you want to say about it?
Good music.
Oh yeah, quite good music, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it I think was reused in the third one, I believe. Yeah, some nice music there. Very catchy in places.
Very catchy.
Yeah. Right then. So what's on the menu for next time then, Tibbs?
Well, we're gonna have a little puzzle game as
we've established.
the main course.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Baba Is You.
Oh yeah, you've talked about this before, haven't you? Yeah. This is an elephant. Is it an elephant?
No, he's a Baba.
There's a baba, isn't he? Not?
Yeah.
Is he an elephant or not?
No.
Is he elephant-like? What am I thinking
Not
of as an
really.
elephant? It's a very
I don't know what
elephant-themed show, this, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, as elephantine as this show has been, Baba
Yeah.
is not. Baba is you.
I think we've done this before, I think you've said Baba is you, and I've said, is that an elephant? You said no, and I said, oh, I'm thinking of Babar.
Oh, you could be.
I think we've had this exact conversation the last time you
Probably.
mentioned this. If I have time, I might dig it out and just play it here and just see how similar it is.
Yeah, probably word for word.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, Babar is you.
Baba had a monkey in it as well, didn't it? He owned a milkshake shop, didn't he? Or a
I
coffee
can't remember. I can't remember much about Babar. There was like a king. They were like a royal family, weren't they?
Yeah,
Was
Baba
Babar
was like the king.
Babar was
There
the king. He
was-
wasn't the prince. Was he the prince?
No.
Oh, he's the king.
No.
Yeah,
The prince. There was the kid elephants. One of those was the prince, I think.
He had a green suit on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baba did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had one of them was called Cornelius. Wasn't it?
Yeah, Cornelius. Yeah, that
was
definitely
like-
rings a bell. Yeah.
That was like the uncle or the granddad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to like that one as a kid, little Baba.
I did. I don't remember much about it at all, but I remember watching it occasionally. Yeah.
You're going to use the Baba theme tune for the intro
Oh, I
of the
could
next
do.
show. you
Yeah,
must
that'd
do.
be nice. Oh, yeah. I don't even know how that goes, but I'll look it up.
Doodaloo, doo 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 doo. Doo 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 doo.
Oh no, it's not ringing any bells. I don't think I watched it enough. I don't think I think it was on like an early Sunday morning.
It was a
On Channel
early
4.
morning thing, Channel 4, I think.
Yeah, and I think I only occasionally caught it, but yeah.
I don't know, was it Channel? No, was it Channel 4? I don't know.
Well, it's one
I
of
think
them
Channel
anyway.
4 was Sharky and George.
Ah,
Well,
Sharky and George, distance of the sea. Yeah, I remember that.
Was there
theme
ever a
tune.
Sharky and George game? There should have been,
Oh,
shouldn't
there
there,
must
surely?
have been.
Oh.
Anyway, what is Babar as you? Baba. Go on. I'll stop talking. Go and tell me what it is.
Right, so Baba Is You is a puzzle game. You're a little creature called Baba, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting how we sort of describe this one to people, really.
Okay.
But if you've got a level, and you've got modifying words in the level, so you'll have like the word is. and you move blocks around. So you could put Baba is, and then play it.
Okay.
Play it. That's the best way to.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think
Yeah.
there was a what sounds like a similar game called Typo Man. Did you ever play that?
I've never played that.
It's a similar idea. So there was like words around, and you push them together, and it would make a new object because you're combining words that mean this particular object, or it's
kind of. So yeah, so you'll have a level where like you've got to get to an exit. So you need to get to the exit lock. So you could there'll be Baba is you, and then you'll be able to move Baba around. But through creative moving of the blocks, you could actually get it to Baba is exit, and then you would automatically win the stage because Baba becomes the exit and you are Baba.
Oh,
so you actually
Baba
modify
becomes
the parameters of the whole level and the physics of the level depending on how you move things about.
Okay.
It makes a lot more sense when you play it.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. Okay.
It's very interesting. I think we might have a bit of difficulty
Explaining
sort of
it.
describing it. So
okay. Well, that's a challenge. Is that on everything?
Yeah. It's on pretty much everything.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. It's I played it on Switch and it's on Steam. I'm sure if it's on Switch and Steam, it'll be on the PlayStation Store as well.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I look forward to that.
Yes.
Excellent. If you want to get in touch with us, we are at
and you should.
We're at podemup on Twitter. podemup@gmail.com is our email address, and podemup.live is our website. And if you do get in touch and you tell us what you listen to us on and roughly how long you've been listening, you can get your hands on a free Steam game all to yourself. We got some corkers.
Yeah, some Bobby Dazzlers.
We've got Biomutants.
Dazzling Bobblers.
We've got Death Stranding. We've got Hot Shot Racing, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Street Fighter 5. All sorts, Blazing Chrome. Get in touch, tell us anything you want. But yeah, I'm trying to make a database of listeners, basically, like a list of people that we know listen on a fairly regular basis, if not all the time. So yeah, if you're one of those people, please get in touch. Please tell me. It'd be great. Thank you.
Street Fighter 6 is out.
It is. You played it?
No. I'll tell you why I didn't play it, because I had a look, see how much it was. 90 quid.
90?
That's for that was for like the the deluxe thing.
Oh,
all the,
yeah.
But like
that's
the
still,
basic version's like 60.
I know, games are so expensive these days, aren't they?
It's ridiculous. I am paying 90 quid for Street Fighter. There's going to be a new one out. I've been around the block with Street Fighter. There'll be arcade edition out in 6 months.
That's they do that, don't they? You buy the first one and they come out with like 3 others. After that, we'll have more characters in it.
I bought Street Fighter 4 about 4 times. The Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition, Ultra edition. I bought the game about 4 times, and 5 if you include the 3DS version.
It's weird how fighting games can get away with that, isn't it?
I know.
Like no other genre does that. I don't think.
It's not as bad as Dead or Alive, much as I love that series.
Dead or Alive 5 did that a few times, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you wanted to buy every costume, it turned out it's something ridiculous like £12,000.
Yes, that's right.
Ridiculous.
That is mental. Yeah. Yeah. Have you played Final Fantasy 16 yet?
No.
You gonna?
No, I haven't. I might do. Again, it's the price is the main thing.
Yeah.
But I don't have. I think it's next gen exclusive in there. So the only thing I could play it on would be the Steam Deck, and I don't know how well it would perform on the Steam Deck. It looks like it might.
That's true. Yeah.
Push the limits a little bit, but I'd like to play it at some point.
I think both Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16 they're the types of games that come down in price pretty quick, aren't they? They don't stay that high for very long. You can always get them really cheap. So
no, and Street Fighter 6 is on PS4 as well, so I might pick that one up at some point. When there's a Game of the Year edition or whatever they're going to call it.
Tibbs will tell us all about it when he does so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about it then, I suppose.
Punch, punch, punch.
Mm-hmm. Right, we will see you next time with a bit of Babar. 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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.